Hello, I'm Chris Pickard and it is February 2023 and it's Heart Health Awareness Month here in the United Kingdom, thanks to the British Heart Foundation. And today I would like to share with you 7 reasons why your medical doctor may not be the right person to see in order to fully understand and help your condition, and one very big reason why it's so important that you do see your doctor first, or at least as well as someone who can address these 7 reasons why. So first of all, you want to see a medical doctor because your medical doctor is going to be the one to basically give you the drugs that you may need to help you, and he's going to be, or she's going to be, the one that's going to make sure that you haven't got something that's going to kill you in the next few days or weeks, and they're going to be able to do a whole range of tests and make sure that you're as safe as you can be. So they are the people to see at first, just to check everything out, or as well as, but they may not be the right person to actually understand what went wrong and what you can actually do apart from taking drugs. Okay, and in fact maybe even fix the situation so you can then come off of the drugs. So here we go. I just have been trained by a cardiologist in all of these things, and a cardiologist that specialises in getting people off drugs and getting fixed. So 7 reasons why. Now, number 1 is perhaps the most alarming because it actually has a relationship to pretty much everything that a doctor does, and this is lab tests. So yes, a reason why your doctor may not be the right person to see is because of lab tests, and in the UK it's 2 reasons primarily. One is they don't run enough tests to get all the information that's needed, but secondly, and this is actually true in the US and Canada and elsewhere as well, even if they do have enough of the right information, they don't actually know what to do with it, and they actually ignore a lot of it even when it's wrong, and they tell you there's nothing wrong. So here is a sample blood test from one of my patients in America. So there's a lot of good information that the doctor had available, and strangely enough, this wasn't someone that came to me with heart disease. This is actually someone who was read to me because of their back pain. So yes, patient in America, back pain, and they were seeing a chiropractor. I was originally a chiropractor, that's why people come to me for back pain, but yeah, wasn't getting any better. Medication wasn't helping, chiropractic wasn't helping, physiotherapy wasn't helping. So his son lives over here, knows what to do, said, can you help? And I said, well, let's have a look. And so one of the first things that I see so many times in lab tests that are completely fine is, now you're not going to be able to see this, but I've highlighted this all in red, okay, but if you've had your glomerular filtration rate, GFR, your estimated GFR, so it's little e GFR, look underneath it, because if your eGFR is less than 90, then underneath there's going to be a lot of writing. And so for instance, this guy's eGFR was 44, so it should be at least 90. And so 44 is classed as, what is it in America? It is mildly to moderately decreased kidney function. Okay, no, that's 45. So 44 is moderate to severely decreased. Yeah, moderate to severely decreased kidney function. So this guy has a moderate to severely decreased kidney function. He's got high blood pressure. He's got back pain. Doctor said there's nothing wrong. So first of all, even on this report, it said he had a kidney problem. Doctor said there's nothing wrong. And I see this time after time on so many blood tests. The eGFR, all kinds of signs that the kidney's wrong, nothing's being done. And if the kidneys are working properly, it's going to put extra strain on your heart, or it's a sign that there's all kinds of things going wrong. And it can be a sign of back pain. So I then had a look at the rest of his markers. Now, in America, when they do kidney, they do all the blood gases. So it wasn't just sodium and potassium, which you often see in a UK blood test, but they also did chloride and carbon dioxide. Now, that means that I can then work out, because this is another thing that doctors don't realise, is that a lot of the numbers that are there can be put into calculations. So you group all these numbers together, do calculations, look at ratios, and so here's some of the calculations that I did. And one of the calculations you can do is you can work out the arterial pH from knowing what's happening with the blood gases. And his arterial pH was too acidic. So his blood's too acidic, and his kidney's not working, and there's a few other things which basically indicated that he probably has renal acidosis. And renal acidosis can be caused by blood pressure medication. So even though lots of people are put on blood pressure medication to protect the kidneys, those same medications can actually cause kidney problems. And so I said, okay, valsartan, how long have you been on valsartan? A long time, but there's all kinds of problems here. So I said, well, talk to your doctor and see if you can come off the valsartan. Came off the valsartan, back pain disappeared within about 24 hours. Then he was doing some travelling. I said, you should go back on the valsartan because your blood pressure is going up, and back pain came back. So now we're working with him to try and lower his need for blood pressure medication so he doesn't need the valsartan, so he won't actually have the back pain. And there's all kinds of other reasons on here as to why he may have the back pain and high blood pressure problems. So we're working on all of these things. So first of all, doctors look at the wrong ranges, and secondly, they actually don't do much with the information. There's all kinds of things on there. I've seen stuff from cardiologists saying there's nothing wrong, and there's actually 3 or 4 markers for cardiovascular risk. And I actually have medical doctors coming to me for reading their blood tests so that they actually know what's going on. So one is labs. The next is, well, what do you actually do? Well, a lot of the reason that people have heart disease is their lifestyle. And so while doctors say, it's your lifestyle, they have no training in actually detecting what is going wrong with your lifestyle and what you can do to change it. So the number one cause of heart disease is lifestyle problems. Medical doctors have no training on lifestyle and lifestyle change. So if you really want to get to the bottom of your heart disease, and you know, okay, you're overeating, you know, over drinking, but you need help changing those things or finding out what other things you can do, you need someone who's an expert in lifestyle change. Which brings us nicely to nutrition, because while you can have blood tests for certain things like B vitamins and magnesium, which are very much linked to causing heart problems if it's too low, actually blood levels, the blood levels of magnesium and B12, for instance, have actually got nothing to do with how much B12 or magnesium is actually inside your cells. It just tells you what's in the blood, which is a bit like telling you what's on the roads but not in the shops available for you to buy, or not what's actually in your fridge, or not what's on your table, and not what you're actually eating. And so some blood tests, so if they say we've looked at your bloods and there's nothing wrong, your nutrients are fine, that's actually wrong, because magnesium and B12 blood tests are completely useless for telling you what's going on. It's actually symptoms and some other things like the size of your red blood cells and the number of your red blood cells. That was another thing I commonly see, is not enough red blood cells, and wonder why people haven't got any energy. So nutrition, a big problem. Again, with heart disease, with blood pressure, common one is again something called polymyalgia rheumatica, general aches and pains, fibromyalgia. Very often, you just improve people's nutrition, they feel a lot better. And yes, supplementation is part of that, especially when people are very sick and you need to change things. Now the next thing, which again is massively underlooked at, is toxins. And these are toxins from food you eat, in the water supply, in cleaning chemicals, stuff like antibacterial hand soaps contains, or used to contain, they now don't, contain something called triclosan, which causes all kinds of problems in your body. Shampoos, toothpaste like Colgate contain chemicals that they don't use them anymore, but they've only just phased them out recently. But there's also pesticides, herbicides that cause all kinds of damage, heavy metals, mycotoxins from molds, and these problems are rife. I mean, even in the UK, even though we've got rid of lead piping pretty much, still so many people have and we've got rid of lead in paint, still too many people have high lead actually detectable in their bloodstream. People have all kinds of chemicals that weren't there 50 years ago that are now in our bloodstream and in our fat cells and in our brain cells. And then there's air pollution. Air pollution is actually a major cause of heart disease and high blood pressure, and also, believe it or not, a lot of environmental toxins are one of the major causes of diabetes and obesity as well. So there are all kinds of toxins that you can test for, but we pretty much know that most people have got a huge amount of toxins inside their body, whether they're drinking alcohol or whether they're smoking or not. If you live in the UK, you're going to have huge amounts of toxins in your body. Yes, you can test to see which specific ones, and also to see if things are decreasing, but there are things you can do to decrease your toxic exposure, but you also need to do things to remove the toxins from your body. It's a two-pronged attack. First of all, avoidance and decreasing the amount going in, but also you want to get rid of the stuff that's inside you. And decreasing toxins can improve your heart function, decrease blood pressure problems, improve brain function, decrease pain and inflammation. Oh my word, yes, decrease toxicities causing cancers. This is why I work with people when they're going through chemotherapy, to basically make the chemotherapy work better, and to also improve their cells' chances of actually killing the cancers naturally as well. Then we have stress as well, even though this may be also part of lifestyle as well. And medical doctors may often say, oh yes, you've got a lot of stress, if they've even asked about that, but they may say, try some yoga or try some meditation or mindfulness. There's all sorts of things you can do to both decrease the effects of stress on yourself and avoiding stress. Breathing techniques, meditation techniques, visualization techniques, but there's also things you can do to make yourself more resilient to stress as well, that are very easy to do and put into your lifestyle. So you can actually decrease stress, you can decrease the effects of stress on yourself, and you can also make yourself more resistant to stress. So when it comes to stress, it's a three-pronged attack, basically. And yes, there are some supplements that help, but there's so many things that are free to do, and those are actually more powerful in most cases, but you can use nutrients short term. Then, now this is an unusual one for most people, the spine. Now this is actually an article written by a cardiologist, one of the cardiologists that taught me, and it's all about keep your heart healthy with chiropractic care. And he lists a number of things like studies showing that chiropractic care can decrease your blood pressure, it can improve nerve function, it can to the heart, it can improve any decreased markers of inflammation, improves heart rate variability, decreases chest pain. A lot of chest pain is not heart, it's actually just rib mechanics. Improves lung function as well. So this is why he refers people to chiropractors, and even found that some people with atrial fibrillation gets better when they see a chiropractor as well. So not everybody, but he refers everyone to get checked by a chiropractor, because if it's a spinal chiropractic problem, they don't need drugs, they don't need surgery. So that's the spine, but also because so many people who may be seeing a chiropractor, and this is I think maybe one of the reasons why it helps, is because so many people seeing a chiropractor, they're in pain, whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain. And pain itself can cause high blood pressure, which can then start damaging parts of the body. But also painkillers, so ibuprofen, paracetamol, Nurofen, all these things, naproxen, cause heart damage. And so the actual damage and problems that people may be experiencing may be secondary to painkillers that they may have been on for many years. And when you decrease and find and fix the cause of the pain, rather than just giving painkillers, so one, they don't need the painkillers which are causing heart damage. Secondly, they're not in pain, so it's not causing high blood pressure and other problems of inflammation throughout the body. You remove the cause and the heart starts getting better. So 7 things, 7 major causes for heart disease that medical doctors are ill-equipped to deal with. In fact, none of the causes. Doctors are not equipped to cope with any of the causes of heart disease. They are the best to talk to when you've got heart disease and actually starting to decrease a lot of the effects there. So they are vital to see, but in all honesty, medical doctors should be referring to functional chiropractors, functional neurologists, functional nutritionists, so that they can work with and correct all of these underlying problems as well. It's not just about taking a drug, you're fine, because we know that more people are taking more drugs for heart disease than ever before, and heart disease is actually going up. More people are dropping dead from sudden heart attacks than ever before, amounts of drugs going up, and it's not solving the problem. So, please, if you know someone with heart disease, or if you want to avoid heart disease, start finding someone that's going to start working through all of this to start changing this. This is why I have an online course, The Magnificent 7 Healing Strategies. I also have an online course which is free for lowering your blood pressure in 6 weeks, which just tackles a few simple things that you can start doing safely. And I also have the beatbloodpressure.com website, so beatbloodpressure.com. And you can reach out to me there, and there may be some links in the comments below, there may be some links in the description. Whatever I do, please, 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 please start examining what's happening with your lifestyle. Start thinking about toxins, nutrition, and what you can do to actually fix everything that's going on so you can look after yourself and you can live a very long, magnificently healthy life. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sharing this with other people as well. Awareness is the key when it comes to living a long, healthy life. Bye for now.